It's December 26th. Welcome to another prompt from our Dephemerember prompt list. Our journal is getting bulkier, which is so much fun. We're on the last prompt of the week. Collaged postcard and curiosity shop. If by this time you do not have a prompt list, then I can only ask you why. I know not all of you are able to do this in December, so if you want to have a go at our prompts during January, February, March, whenever you want, these videos will be available for a hopefully really long time. As long as there is YouTube, you can watch our videos and get inspiration. When I talk about we, of course, I talk about my partner in crime, Luise Heinzl, and myself, and you can find all the relevant information, all the relevant links on our info pages. Please check them below if you are new to this at this point. So for this prompt, we're going to make a, you know what? Even though I just read the prompt and I have read it earlier today when I was planning this video, it did not register until now that we're talking about a postcard. In my head, it was always a journaling card. Like what? Did we even have a journaling card yet? Yeah, we did on the 9th. Okay, well done, Barbara. Okay, so it's a postcard. So this will be a postcard that has been sent by none other than our dear friend. Where is she? I put my panda bookmark there. Dear Evangeline Gearhart. She seems to have become the protagonist of my Dephemerember journal this year. And she also happens to be the owner of Gearhart's Oddities, her very own curiosity shop. Because if you've heard about her story, then you know that she's very much interested in all things mechanical and all things mysterious. And so, of course, she's been collecting these items and she has a shop. And apparently, our dear little Effie stopped by her shop during his travels and he couldn't stop talking about, well, us, this wonderful crafting community and the way we turn scraps into treasures. So Evangeline here was so intrigued that she sent this card that we're going to make as a little keepsake, basically a token of curiosity and connection. I need to go back to school to learn how to read. I cannot believe I read it, but it didn't register. Anyway, so for the base of our postcard, I'm going to use this other side of the ice cream packaging that I recently used for another prompt. Yum. And this is a bit too large for me. So I'm just going to cut that down. On this side, I'm going to make a collage using some vintage tickets that I have. I guess you could say the tickets are like admission tickets for her curiosity shop. I don't know if that makes sense. That's what I'm going with. And if you want to use tickets for your background, I have a little goodie for you. So for this printable right here, you can get minus 50% until the end of January 2025 by using the code you see right here. As usual, I'm using my matte gel by Liquitex and a paintbrush. You know how this works. You've seen me do this several times. Not sure about the red and pink. You could also just glue them down with regular glue. I think this is faster. What I did not think about is that these tickets have punched holes, so I'll need to cover those somehow as well. So for these parts that I still need to cover up, I could just punch some circles. And now my punch got stuck. Why? I don't know why that sometimes happens, but usually you can fix that by taking something sturdy and just ramming it into the punch. There. So don't throw your punches away if that happens. Usually you can get it to work again. I have experience with this. I don't know why they sometimes do that. It's very annoying. Maybe let's add a couple more so that they're not all on this side. Oh no, it's jammed again. Why? You know, I would like to think that Evangeline would have sent us these tickets because she knows that crafters are travelers as well. You know, we travel through time, paper, and our imagination. Maybe these tickets are to the places Effie told her about, where creativity knows no borders. So then I'm going to add just a little bit of white gesso, just to calm it down a little bit. And then remember, I used this recently, actually for Evangeline's background that we used. So I want to, how do we do this? Let's try spraying some on the brayer and all over my hand. And then let's try spraying some over here. Okay, that is looking very strange. I'm not sure I'm loving that. Let's get rid of some of this. It's too much. Yeah, that's okay. And then I'm also going to add some pink splatters. Look at me learning from previous mistakes, not waiting till I add something on top where I then cannot, this is really thick by the way, where I cannot dry it with my heat tool because there's like acetate or something. This is so weird. Anyway, I'm going to dry these. And by not making the same mistakes, I'm leaving myself so much more room for making new mistakes. It's so much better. So my request to you is, you know, you can copy anything you see in my videos. That's why I make the videos. Either for you to just get inspiration and do your own thing, or to just copy that. That's totally fine. It'll never look exactly like mine anyway, because you will never have exactly the same things I do. But having said that, one thing I do not want you to copy is my mistakes. Please learn from my mistakes and come up with your own. That would make me happy. So I started drying these and I was just thinking, why did these come out so blotchy? Now, we did the same thing on Evangeline's card. Let me show you again. And look how fine these splatters came out. And then I remembered that, of course, what I did differently was I sprayed some on the side here and I used my splatter brush, which was so much better. But oh, this is fun. I forgot about this. This was not even my intention. So this is a really cool effect. If you ever have splatters, especially with acrylic paint, and they're just too blotchy, too bulky, dry them a little bit and then press on them really hard with a paper towel and you will get craters. It is such a fun effect. You see those? How fun are those? Huh. Okay, but I'm going to add splatters nevertheless, so let's do it right. We need to thin it down with water and then use a paintbrush, and then we get these beautiful tiny splatters. Yes, that's what I wanted. So this is going to be my base for the front. We will continue decorating this later, but first I want to also add something to the back side here. And I thought to cover this, I could use one of these, which I made during Dephemerember. I don't think it was last year. It might have been 2 years ago. Using different objects to add interest to your pages, things that you would have at home anyway. Let me pick one of the... Oh, I do like the letters. The letters are fun. Yep. So I'll cut this down to fit my card. Yeah, it must have been 2 years ago because I remember copying these and making a matchbox booklet out of it. That's why I still have these originals. So next we need to pick out the items from our curiosity shop. So these would be items that Evangeline probably handpicked from her shelves, like hidden treasures. So one would be a key. I have these beautiful flat metal keys that I bought a really long time ago at Action. If you would like to add a key and you don't have any, please go back to the first video for the prompts, which was December 2nd, where I have linked the freebie for keys and locks. You can cut out one of those keys. Let's take the biggest one. So that will be object number 1. Object number 2 and 3 will come from these stamps. These are both from Your Creative Studio, which is a subscription box that I used to be an ambassador for. And I'm going to use a part of this mushroom stamp, and let's use this book right here. Beautiful antique book. And I'll stamp it on one of these paper. These are fairly sturdy watercolor paper, so that way I already have some color on my background. Since I'm going to color these further, I'm sure to use permanent ink. I did move that a little bit, but it's okay because I'll be cutting it out anyway and then we won't see that part. For the book, I'll use some Vintage Photo Distress Oxide. I think that's a bit too light. So let's try ground espresso. Yep, much better. And since I'm using watercolor paper, this of course now blends really nicely. For the mushroom, I will use some crackling campfire, which is quite orange. And then I'll add some hickory smoke distress oxide. So we have our 3 objects, but they are not curiosities yet. So next, we're going to add some moth wings to these. So I have received a bunch of these beautiful moths. There's a few more. From who else other than my little junk journal sister, Luise. These are just perfect. If you need butterfly wings, I also recently had a video where I had this big butterfly wing freebie. When was that? Was that yesterday? I don't remember. It was in a recent Dephemerember video. You can print that out smaller in case you need wings. So these wings are going to go onto our, let's turn this so that we have more space, onto our objects to make them oddities or curiosities. So we have one for the key, we have one for the mushroom, and we have one for the book. I will cut this apart and angle them a little bit more, but just so you get the idea. And now you're like, what? So Evangeline called this the key to imagination. And some people say that it unlocks doors to places we can only dream of, like hidden worlds filled with paper and ink and wonder. And the wings, well, those are what makes the keys fly into the right hands. And I'd like to think it landed here because it knew we'd take good care of it. Then we have the winged book, and its pages are said to flutter softly like whispers in the wind, because it's no ordinary book, of course. It holds stories that have yet to be told, waiting for someone with a curious mind to write them. And Effie must have told Evangeline about our love for creating, because she knew this little book would find a home here, ready to hold scraps and memories and dreams. And finally, my favorite, the flying mushroom. It's said to be a symbol of possibility, that even the most grounded things, so like, you know, a mushroom is grounded, can take flight when given a little bit of magic. So Effie was quite taken with this one, I imagine. Because after all, isn't that what we crafters do every single day? We take the ordinary, like paper scraps or a piece of an ice cream box, and then we take moth wings and we let these objects fly. So we need to attach the wings. So for the book, I definitely need to separate these. Yeah, I think that's better. These two are actually okay. And they, of course, need to go on some backgrounds. Oh, you don't know this yet. I wanted these not to just be here like this. I wanted these to be as flip outs on our postcard. So I don't know what you've been doing the past 2 seconds, but I have been busy putting together these cards. So I just always glued 2 of those dyed watercolor papers together to make a little panel. I've inked them all up with my ground espresso, and this is where our curious objects are going to go on top. And on the back here, I always just wrote basically what I told you before. So the key to imagination. Some say it unlocks doors to places we can only dream of. Hidden worlds filled with paper, ink, and wonder. The wings make them fly to the right hands. It landed here because it knew we'd take good care of it. So that will be panel number 1. Then we have the winged book. Its pages are said to flutter softly like whispers in the wind. It holds stories that have yet to be told, waiting for someone with a curious mind to write them. And last but not least, we have our winged mushroom, which is called the flying mushroom. And oh no. Okay, I guess we can put him like this, fine. It's said to be a symbol of possibility, that even the most grounded things can take flight when given a little magic. Okay, so we have these 3 panels, which are going to go onto this card. And I was thinking of having them, as I said, like as flip outs. So one here, one here, and then one from the bottom up. From the middle like so. But of course these backgrounds here are still too plain. So I'm going to take this stamp set, Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz, called Tiny Text CMS 394. I will link it for you below. And rather than choosing single sentiments, I'm just going to stamp the whole thing because all of these are great. And I'm going to use walnut stain so that it's not as harsh as a black ink would be. First time ever I'm trying this. Oh no! Did I ink the wrong part? I inked this part and then I tried to stamp this part. Oh my goodness, what? How is this supposed to work, Barbara? How? So now, oh no, now what do I do? Okay. Let's not freak out. Let's just try to do this. So we just get fragments now, which is also fine. That's okay. Not what I had in mind, but okay, let's try to do better this time. But actually I want them all to look similar, so let's not do this and just keep going with this method. So there's number 2. There's number 3. So usually I would use fabric pieces to attach these like I've done in previous videos, but I want to try something new and I'm so excited. Again, this is from dear Luise. Oh my goodness, I can't believe she sent me these. I've been lusting after these. Of course, Luise knew that. Oh, I'm so blessed. I know, I'm spoiled rotten. I know. So these are cello sticker tape. And they come in these narrow strips. So there's 3 in a package. No, sorry, there's 2. And then there's 3 wide ones. Let me show you with the white paper underneath. So there's these wide strips as well, which is what I want to try. Oh, these are super wide. And then these are like a medium width. Oh my goodness, these are so cool. So In this case, I think these are best, but what I do not know is whether they are bendable. So let's see how flexible they are, whether we can even use it for this. Oh yeah, look, they are bendable. That is amazing. So let's try that. I'm so excited. So maybe first I should, or should I? No, let's take these off again and first attach these. It would be great if I could do it from the outside, or outside and inside, and not just inside. So that means I'm going to see those strips there. That's okay. That's okay. We can play with that. So let's give this a go. This definitely adds to the vintage feel. These are so gorgeous. Alternatively, if you don't want to use fabric, you can use regular like Scotch tape and add alcohol ink to that. Okay, I think I'll add another one on the inside, maybe a shorter one. It's not as flexible as the fabric because you see, you know what I mean? It's stiff. So if I do that with fabric, once I open it, it's going to stay open, and once I close it, it's going to stay closed. But I love the look. I'm obsessed with this look. So then we had, what did we have? The flying mushroom is on the bottom. So this one we have here. I wonder if it's better not to add the inside tape so that it doesn't jump up, you know what I mean? Because this way it lays more flat than if I add one on the inside. I just hope that this will hold over time. We'll see. Of course, it would have been super smart to add this text upside down because now I have to turn the card around to read it. Oh well. So now we can glue our curious elements on it. Okay, this one needs a little bit of help. So since this is a postcard, we have here some words from Evangeline. Dear Barbara, my curiosity shop is a place for those who believe anything is possible. A key can fly, a book can hold untold stories, and even a mushroom can soar, if only we can look closely enough to see the magic. Stay curious and never stop creating. Love, Evangeline. I thought I had some nice postage stamps to make this look more like a postcard, but this is the only one that I found. So we'll use that. I'll put that up here. To you with love. It's cute. Let's add a date. Add it down here. So for the front, we still need something. I feel very inspired by this gorgeous card that Luise sent with her scraps. And she also used some of these moths that she sent me. So I want to add probably only half of this beautiful butterfly. This is a die by Sizzix and Tim Holtz with the number 665201. It's called Perspective Butterfly. It's quite huge. Again, if you want to do something similar, you can use the freebie from whenever that was. So I cut out this butterfly from black cardstock, and as usual with this and some other intricate dies, especially butterfly dies, I always have the issue that not all the pieces want to come out, all these little bits. One of you incredible crafters had sent me the tip, and I did share this a while ago, but in case you haven't seen that, if you have that same problem, one of the things you can do is put this back into your die after you cut it and you realize that not all the pieces are coming out. And then you take a spoon and you will just burnish it so that it really cuts through all those parts that haven't cut before. This is what helped me for this one, and believe me, like this whole bottom section here and these intricate details here were not cut through all the way, so that was super helpful. Thank you again. I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was that wrote that in the comments, but incredibly helpful. I've used that technique a few times and it saved me a few times. So I just want, because this is obviously too big, I'm just going to use that 1/2, just the wing, like that. And then Luise sent a few more of these transparent moths. So again, you can always print butterflies, moths, whatever you want on transparencies. So see how she layered these by just turning them. I just love that idea. So one could be like that and one could be like this. Oh my goodness, this is so good. Let's cut these. Oh, it's so good, it's so good. And then we need to still add a scrap from Luise's scrap. So maybe we take a piece of this lace. But I don't want to leave this black. I'm going to add these two mica stains, Wicked Elixir and Frosted Juniper. I think these are gorgeous together. So I'll start off actually by cleaning this because I don't want to get it all over my hands again. So this is the darker one, the Frosted Juniper. And then I'll add the Wicked Elixir. Oh no, it's clogged. So annoying. Okay, let's try to do it this way. Yeah, that works as well. And yes, I have tried unclogging this with water and everything. It just won't. And even though this looks amazing already, I want to take it one step further and add some clear embossing powder on top. So I'll start by adding the embossing gel with my distressed dabber. Transfer this to a clean paper and add my clear embossing powder on top. Ta-da! So now we have this beautiful, shiny, sturdy wing. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, whoops. Which totally makes sense for this card because we already have the sellotape, which is shiny. We have these transparent wings, which are shiny. And this thing sticking out here could be its antennae. And I want to add a few more of these smaller sellotapes because these don't look very intentional. So let's make them look more intentional by just adding some more on here. So I glued all these pieces down. I didn't glue the wings all the way so there would still be some movement possible. And I also am going to include this lock, which is from the freebie that I mentioned before. So this is what it looks like from December 2nd. You can go to that video. Underneath you'll find a link to this freebie. And this here is printed out, I think 50%, although it looks kind of smaller. I don't know. I thought it was 50%, but you can see it's definitely a lot smaller than the original. And I'm going to cut this in half. I've already inked up the 1/2. Yeah, because it needed something there. That is perfect. So at Gearhart's Oddities, Evangeline often says that every curiosity comes with a story, but not every story is unlocked so easily. So when Effie found this butterfly moth, Evangeline added this small lock, because not all magic reveals itself at first glance. And this lock is a reminder that creativity and curiosity actually go hand in hand, because you have to look closer, you have to explore a little bit deeper, and sometimes you have to be patient to find the key, which is on the back side. So also this butterfly moth is actually a creature of transformation and adaptability, also actually like the dragonfly is. So it's basically like us crafters who transform scraps into treasures. And the lock here symbolizes the mystery and the potential hidden in our materials and imagination. So this is a visual reminder that even the most beautiful creations might hold untold stories waiting for the right person to discover them. Oh, and I do want to add a sentiment here, which is this one here: never apologize for who you are. And this is in the context of don't let anyone ever belittle you for the time you spent playing with paper. You know what I mean? Because some people don't take it seriously. They don't know actually what we do. So don't let them tell you you're wasting your time or your talent. You should be doing more important things. No, this is important. This is your me time. This is your creativity. Don't ever let anyone tell you it's not worth the time you're spending on it. And this comes from the Studio Light sticker book, Janine's Mindful Art Collection Essentials. And it has the number JMA-ES-STIC07. So there's our front. Are we happy with the back? Oh, look, these have flattened. That is amazing. I didn't expect that. These have completely flattened now. Yay. Love that, because I was already thinking that I would have to come up with some kind of mechanism to keep these closed, but I don't have to. How cool is that? Let's add it to our beautiful journal. So I believe we have plenty of spots. Oh, look at that. It opened. What a surprise. Luise already apologized. I don't know what's up with this bulb pin. It's like it doesn't want to be here. But why? Why wouldn't you want to be in this beautiful journal? I don't get it. So let's just... Oh, look, there's a moth here. Live, love, create. I would say that fits quite perfectly. Or there's also the other one. Maybe that... no, we already have this in here. Nope. Okay. So this is where it is. December 26th, collaged postcard and curiosity shop. Done. So you have another 3-day weekend to do as you please. And then we have 2 more prompts. And can you believe? Then we're at the end of December and Dephemerember. I really don't know what to do with that at the moment. Wow. Anyway, have fun with this prompt. Very excited to see your posts on social media. And also very excited to go see Luise's video now. Why don't you join me? Love you guys. Mwah! Mwah!